On Time with Doctor and Serge, Log Tech Podcast.
Hi, Doc.
Hello, Sergey. How are you?
I'm good. Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you again.
So that will be episode 15 of our podcast.
And it's been almost 1 year we're doing this now.
Yes, almost a year. And now I'll be interviewing you because the topic today is a day in life of a supply chain consultant.
Okay, yeah.
And you are that person,
I'm that
right?
person, right? Yeah,
Yes.
we can talk about
So
it.
you have like how much? 10 years, 15 of experience in that?
I mean, as a proper professional in consulting, I would say 4 years since I left my full-time job. But actually, when you work for a company like Eaton or Bridgestone and you work on a senior level and people do your job and you mostly delegate, you're almost thinking and acting like a consultant. So whatever I've learned in the two big companies, now I'm applying to my consulting role.
Were you doing this like a side hustle before
Yes.
going full
Yes.
Monty on that?
That's correct. So before I left Bridgestone and Eaton, yes, I was, yes.
Interesting. So I guess like we're in November 25,
Yes.
AI pressuring jobs. Yes. So some people definitely will go for a soul journey, becoming consultants or something, right? So I guess your experience will be very valuable for most of people. At least they will try to become a consultant.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. So just, while you make a good point of AI and consulting, but if you see the news right now, all the big four consulting firms, they are laying off tens of thousands of people. And we are here I'm a consultant, and actually in your job, you have some consulting. We'll come back to that part, being a CEO of Cleverance. Then big companies are letting a lot of, literally in thousands people go, Accenture, McKinsey, EY, KPMG and all that, and rightly so. But what we are saying here is, I think there's a bigger opportunity for consultant to grab the market and grow the market. You want me to explain why?
Of course, yeah. So those big fours, they were like unnecessary middlemen between you and the GPT or someone who really knows this stuff, yeah. So no wonder they're like laying people off and losing the market.
I had never worked for Big Four, but I have been a Big Four client. And I'm just sharing my outside view. I don't have any inside information or disclaimer here, but just my outside view. We hired, I think, KPMG to do this ERP consulting. They come in and what they do, they assess your organization, workflow, chart, blah, blah. They create a big, massive blueprint based on the information you actually given to them. They do a lot of interviews to people, and then they go back and create a massive presentation, which looks super sexy on the piece of paper, right? So that layer is going because most of this work or knowledge creation work is done by ChatGPT.
Okay, good. So there are like certain parts that are difficult in this journey of being a consultant. Arranging the text or sound smart is solved by ChatGPT, but you still need to acquire customers, keep them, talk them into spending money on that consultancy, building trust and all that. So ChatGPT will not do that. Yes. So probably our audience is mostly interested not in some theoretical things, but as you've said, like some actionable steps, how to become a consultant, how to acquire customers, how to bring value to customers, how to make them pay. Is it enough to pay your bills, to pay your rent, those kind of things? So let's unwrap this one by one.
Unwrap this. So how to become a customer, how to find customers, how to provide consultancy. So let's take the first part, how to present yourself as a customer, right? So in this day and age, as we know that a lot of graduate jobs are at risk, not the senior people. So to become a consultant, or how I become a consultant, is I have 17 years of corporate experience. I have worked in the industry. My first job was a demand planner. So I know, and I did that for 2 years. Then I got promoted as a materials manager, supply chain director, division supply chain manager. So I know how at the bottom level MRP works, demand forecasting works, how you implement WMS system, how to design the warehouse, right? How to do the inventory management. So I have done live and breathe. And I see this dilemma, especially on SCM Dojo as well. A lot of young people come in, they say, oh, I want to become a consultant. I'm saying, okay, what problem you can solve? What you are really good at? Consultant means is like physician or any counseling person. You won't go and see a doctor without a proper degree or of MBBS and say, yeah, fix me. you need experience, and that's why becoming a doctor takes time. Therefore, becoming a customer takes time, consultant takes time. First point.
Okay. See, I rarely see people who are telling me like, oh, I want that doctor who really had a cancer, cured that, and then like he can cure cancer or whatever. I broke my leg. I want a doctor that had broken leg in his life. But in that job, people are looking for, I don't know, like tires. We're looking for someone with 15 years of experience in tires or whatever. Yeah. So how do you deal with this?
Fine. So after you know the consultant, but there is also this word of subject matter expert is very important, right? So for example, I know a lot about end-to-end supply chain, right? Sales and operations planning, demand forecasting, inventory management, warehousing. But if you say, okay, come and do consulting for me for strategic procurement or P2P, I won't be able to do that because I know a lot about the procurement, but I'm not a subject matter expert. Right? No one can be subject matter expert more than 3 things. It's just impossible. Right.
Yeah,
now,
of course.
to come to the lead generation point. So anybody who has got a fancy job and think would just leave the job and find the customer because you're super good at it lives in a la la land. Just not possible. I mean, you being a business owner, CEO of Cleverance, you know how difficult it is to find leads.
Like I'm telling my product managers that you've grown your apples and you're keeping it in the basement. You have to come to the market, at least put your apples to view, yes, and try to selling, pitching it. Same for like software, because they've developed some software, put it on a website, and are sitting waiting for the customers. Like, oh, yeah, that like they think they made the major part of it. Yeah, but
exactly.
It's not that. Like you need to spend another 100% on top of it.
200%. 200%.
Yeah.
Right now in this day and age, making a product, software or service is that easy. You can design it through Lovable, ChatGPT,
Exactly.
boom, here you go. You got a service on offer, product on offer, everything, unless there's a physical product. But coming to your example of apples, you have to go and present the apples. But how you present the apples? Consulting required generally in a B2B space, and it's difficult. It's very difficult. So I was in Canada 23rd March, right? And I was talking about for the first time, I was talking about being an entrepreneur, right? And my entrepreneur journey. I don't want to give that talk here, but I'll pick 2-3 points which resonate with people. The first thing is you have to do not leave the job or do not leave whatever makes you money right now and go ahead and basically think people can give you business. It's not going to happen. So whatever your current money-making method is, job or business or whatever, you have to stay in that and basically put your apples, i.e. minimum viable product, service or whatever, out there and start talking to relevant customer. There's a term we use called ICP, Ideal Customer Persona. In our case, ICP is supply chain leaders, warehouse managers, logistics managers, chief operating officer, HR managers, because we are selling training, consulting CEOs. So we try to find out where they are, what they do, which could be conferences, sending them cold emails, contacting, sending a newsletter, inviting them to podcast, basically get in touch, right?
When you do that, before 8 p.m.?
Before 8 p.m. Yes, you have to. Because if you can't sell your consulting services while you're on the job, I can assure you, you cannot sell it after.
No, I just mean that before 8 p.m., you spend all your time on work.
Yes.
After 8, you spending your time with the family.
Yeah, you can take a time off, use your holidays, use your weekends, network with people. LinkedIn gives you this opportunity easily to connect with the relevant people. Send them a message.
What's the time spent to expect from starting that activity to first lead, like someone interested, and then to first customer that will pay you at least a penny for what you do?
So in B2B, in my experience, and correct me if I'm wrong, the average sales cycle is 3 to 6 months.
Mm-hmm. Starting from you're calling them?
No,
or
3 to 6 months from the first time we have a conversation.
Get in touch with you, right? Yeah. So if you're amateur, you thought that you've closed the deal, but you're saying that it's 3 to 6 months from that point where you decided that you've closed the deal to really close that deal, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Approval, IT approval, CFO approval, compliance approval.
So if you add to that, just chasing them for a follow-up.
And that process, it took me about 2 years to even understand that. So we have covered it, we use this term called sales funnel, right? In our experience is if you send 300 emails, you get one reply. Yeah, 300.
So most of the people will stop at 3 emails or 30, yeah? But you need to do 300.
300. And
Okay,
I can,
first takeaway, guys.
so 300 emails you send, you will get one reply.
How many have you sent?
Thousands. We have a database of about 15,500 supply chain leaders. I have an email addresses of more than 60,000 supply chain people, right? So it's an effort.
Did you do that manually?
No, it's creating content, blog, website, exchanging cards.
Oh, you've collected it
Of course you collect it.
automatically?
LinkedIn
How did
messages.
you send
LinkedIn messages?
LinkedIn messages?
LinkedIn messages, you have 50.
100 per day.
Yes, or whatever you buy an account, you have this LinkedIn Sales Navigator, whatever. You have to spend money.
So if you break down your like a day in life of a consultant, it's like from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. you work as a plumber. Then for 2-3 hours you're sending emails. Then you go to some event, talk, and maybe in last 2 minutes to bed, you do this consultancy.
You missed one important point.
I just mean that
learning.
I'm trying to joke. You're learning, but like a huge part of this is outreach.
So if you need, for example, an average deal of 10,000 and it takes 12 months to close one, right? So you need to talk to at least 15 people a month to get to the point that in 12 months time, you're going to close one deal of every 10 months.
And you need to send like 1,500 emails, to get those 15 people or more. Yeah, even more. Yeah, 300 per one. So like crazy amounts of outreach that you need to do.
Yes. So let's assume you got this, but now move to the next part. Once you get to that person connecting, you can't just say, oh, I'm super good in this warehouse design, network design, blah, blah, and you should hire, and I'm really good at it. Well, that's what second people do. They just sell, they're just so keen to talk about how great they are. I make supply chain courses, and sometimes a lot of supply chain experts message me, and I'll come on the call. For them, it's like a customer. And the first half an hour, they just spend talking about how great they are. They might be great, but what I want to do with this information? Not much. You have to spend time in listening, build personal rapport, and ask smart questions. So if you're really smart and you have been in an industry and acquire a skill, then you know the problem. So
that's a good one. People think that to sell, they need to crack jokes and talk nonstop. But in reality, you have to listen first. Yeah, you need to shut your mouth and listen.
100%, nothing to add. Actually, in the B2B space, most successful salespeople I've seen who have sold not just hundreds of thousands of dollars of services or software or product, millions in fact, they are probably the most introverted, quiet people, very well-mannered, very good listener. They just need to ask the right question. They listen, think, ask question, and at the end, they always leave with the next meeting. Because that's what you need. In B2B, you need minimum 7 touch points.
And touch points are what?
Touch points are interactions with customers.
Interactions.
Could be your Zoom calls, in-person calls, phone calls, whatever.
7.
And
that's like an average.
That's on average.
Sometimes 17.
Higher.
Yeah.
And I cannot name this customer, but that's a true example. There is a company in UAE. They make pipes in oil and gas. I have contacted the right person, and it's 3rd August 2024. I still have not invoiced her because she still needs to go and get the financial signature from the CEO. More than 1 year. Now, we're spending time on this because once you want to start your own business, you can outsource everything. You can outsource digital marketing. You can outsource legal. You can outsource your P&L. Right? There's one function you cannot outsource, which is sales. You cannot outsource sales.
No, you can, but you will have no sales.
Yes, you can, but you have no sales. So the real message and the skill need to be acquired in life, not just in business people, because I think you're always selling being a founder. Even to hire talent, I have to sell company.
See, right? In some cultures, that's okay. They start selling from age 9.
Yes.
Yeah. In some cultures,
for example, which company they start selling at 9.
No, I mean, in US, you start selling being 9, like you sell lemonade. Like you talk to teacher, you sell to your peers. Like it's all non-stop thing. Yeah, that's why they like sell themselves. But in some other cultures, selling is like, I mean, it's considered being from lower castes, probably. I don't know. So no offense. Yeah,
no offense. Yes. No, but you valid point. So for example, where I've grown up in Karachi, Pakistan, the thing is, selling is for dumb people because you were not just smart enough to become an engineer or a doctor or a chartered accountant or actuary.
Okay. So become someone who don't need to sell.
Yeah, exactly. So I become an engineer, and then your job is to engineering stuff, right? And when you go to the business, you realize the people who get most respect and most attention from CEOs are salespeople. I worked in Bristol, head of planning and logistics. In all honesty, I had a lot of people working for me, good job, respectable position, but nobody gives a monkeys if I decide to go, or being honest, regardless of, but if the good salesperson decide to go, they ask him to stay, offer him more money, more bonus, more car, because they know it's very hard to find good salesperson.
Yeah, you're right. That's all good. But yesterday, I've lost my job. I get laid off.
Yeah.
Next month, I need to pay my rent.
Yeah.
Where are my customers? Like, what's your advice? How to make money?
You have
in
no
30
customers.
days?
Go and find a job. Honest answer. You just won't find a customer who'll pay you, because we just explained you how long it takes to.
But I'm really willing to call those 3 customers, maybe 5. I don't know. Like,
I'm not going to give you fake advice. I'm here to share my experience. I'm one of those lucky people who has worked in industry, gained knowledge, start a business. It's been 4 years in December, right? We developed, and I sell consultancy and I'll sell training. And I'm telling you, and I know a lot of people in my field. The honest answer of that, best advice for that person, he lost the job.
but why? See, I've seen
How are you
people,
going to pay the bill?
I've seen people making 6 apps in 30 days. I already paid that subscription to look better and sell more. And you're telling me you cannot teach me how to make money in 30 days as a consultant?
You bought an app, you paid 30 days, 6 apps in 30. For same reason that no matter how you can burn 2,000 calories and you still not going to get 6-packs abs in 30 days. For the very same reason, you're not going to find a customer who will pay you enough money as you were doing in your job. Just not going to happen. It's going to take time.
What is the realistic time frame then?
Okay, for the meanwhile, unless you have money to survive now 9 months, be my guest. Do it full time. Beautiful. You are in a great position that you have 9 months of survival money.
You should start a year ago.
You should start.
I should have started a year ago.
You said it. Nothing to add.
So now what? Should become a plumber, and after 8 p.m. I should send out those emails.
Yes, you got to do that.
Okay, good. But you actually touched a very good point. I mean, if you're delusional and think that your speed talk, smart talk, even you're persistent in calls and emails, can force the customer into closing the deal in those 30 days.
Yeah.
Especially if they never needed that consultant in the first place, and you expect not just to talk them into needing that service, but also closing the deal and sending you the money, you're in a wonderland, right?
Yes.
Most of the times, you cannot shorten that time span. You just cannot. So you can chase more customers, wait until they mature, like 9 months. They matured, meaning they've realized that they need your service. Then they need to go through all of their internal procedures of onboarding you like a new supplier, all that. And then maybe transferring you the money, all this bill sign, contract sign. And that really takes time. So instead of trying to make the lady give birth in less than 9 months, you should go chase more ladies.
No, so you're right. You summarized very well. So I want to extend the discussion to, I have a couple of points in my head. I want to share a story of how I acquired my first 2 customers. when I was at Bridgestone, right, COVID was just at the peak. And before that, we used to have this problem of we have 50 distributors in 50 countries, and all of them used to send orders by WhatsApp, email, sales guys, whatever, even fax, like plenty of methods. You send the invoice and packing list in Egypt, and the girl was out of office. She didn't put the out of office, and now it's 30 days late, and somehow we are responsible, and we have to pay demurrage, and plenty of supply chain issues. As we say in supply chain, in manage information flow, to manage material flow, to manage money flow. Now, I said to the guys, we live in 2020, for God's sake, let's implement a digital solution. Right. That means when customer enter an order, we can confirm the order. If this order needs any changes, we do it online.
Already sounds complicated.
I know it sounds
You need
complicated.
consultants on that. No.
Yeah, no. So, but we didn't hire the consultant. I am the one who designed the whole thing. Right. So I did the wireframing. I did the MVP. Anything from order collection to confirmation, to shipping documents, credit limits, everything into one place. Even reporting into one place. Super happy. The software was so good. I went to Japan. We won an award for the innovation globally. They like it so much, they forced the Europe folks to adopt the same thing. Beautiful. Then I decided to leave and start a team to show. So one of the sales guys who was, I think, in Egypt or somewhere, he's got an opportunity. He went to a distributor in KSA, Saudi Arabia. He became a GM. And he told his sheikh, whatever, that we know Mudassir. They have the same issue there. They said, Mudassir did a great job in Bridgestone. Let's talk to him. Maybe he can do the same for us. So they said, at this point, we just need to know you can do the job. So the only thing they paid me, believe me or not, and I did not have any job, is air ticket and hotel.
Oh.
So I take zero money for my 1 week of work.
What about food?
Yeah, they provided food. So hotel,
Drinks, water.
food, drink, water, alcohol. Al-Bak is very nice chicken thing in Saudi. Highly recommended. Go and try Al-Bak. So
Shisha?
No, I don't do smoking. No shisha. Right. One night maybe, yes. So I did the whole discovery diagnostics, understand how many distributors they have, what is the current process, how long it takes to enter the order, confirmation, credit. And I presented them the full analysis of all the problems, how long it takes for you to do everything, and what is the consequences, the outcome of that. Right. They said, great. Thank you very much. Let us look into it. 2 weeks, 2 months, nothing happened. Then they start getting complaints from the customer. And they realize, we did this study with Dr. Mudassir. Let's call him in again. How much is going to cost us to implement? I said, okay, before you go implementation, do you know the solution first? They said, no, just do what you did with Bridgestone. Same thing, copy paste. I said, no. Bridgestone was a principal selling to a distributor. You're a distributor selling to the wholesaler and retailer. Your problem is rather complicated. You almost need a B2B commerce system, which is not the same as...
You have many more customers.
And rather more complicated commercial terms. And in fact, they have their own 50 retail shops, which they used to fit tires. So not the same, right? So let me design your solution first. And for that, you got to pay me for it.
And they said, oh, no, we'll go shop for someone who knows retail and all, no?
They did not say that. They said, okay, send us the proposal and we'll look into it. So I charged them whatever money I charge, which is my day rate plus some more, right? And I asked them, I'm going to take 4 or 5 weeks, right, to do
plus
it.
Tickets and food and all.
Plus ticket, food, Al-Bak, and 1 day of shisha, you're right. And some Coke and Pepsi diet in between. And I at this time, because they want me, I said, make sure the hotel have a gym. Last time there was no gym.
Nice. So you had a rider now.
I have a rider now. They used to send a Saudi guy who was my Uber driver. Anyway, I went in, understand what they wanted, come back, design the solution, again come back, present the solution, charge them the money. Thank you very much. We'll take it from here. Nothing happened. Then they realized they spend the money, they still have the problem, but somebody has to implement it. Because they did not. So all distributors globally think they are sales business and commercial strategy business. All of them are wrong. They are very wrong. All distribution and wholesale business are actually supply chain business. That's what you do. You manage supply chain for the sales enablement. That's what you do. So the core competency won't be like 40 sales guys and 2 supply chain guys. It has to be at least 10 really good supply chain warehouse folks and maybe 20 supply sales folks. So that is the thing I make them realize.
That was very nice. Because see, consultants is not a PDF that you send to the customer, because customers don't see value in PDFs talking strategy, anything basically only in outcomes. The question is how you give them outcomes. And then there's a road to those outcomes that starts probably with just reaching out, maybe giving some free consultancy, but the end thing is outcomes. They will pay you for outcomes.
Yes.
Not for your knowledge.
Yes.
That you shared in a PDF or whatever,
Yes.
right?
The dilemma is how to show them early on you are the one who can bring outcomes. Because you haven't done the work,
Yes.
right? You have not done the work. So actually the first stage, when you do your discovery and diagnostics, this is where put your all knowledge and experience into the motion. And I'm going to give you now an LLM tip to it as well. So for example, I did the gamble walk in the warehouse, absolutely in chaos. I took all my notes and I was walking because I couldn't type. So I wrote like 20 pages. I don't have time these days. Initially, I would have to type and write my reports and findings. I took a picture, uploaded into LLM. Can you write me my analysis or key findings from this?
Yeah.
Got it. It was just not possible before. You don't need IMB analyst
That part is now easy, yeah.
So the whole discovery and diagnostics, you use a lot of LLM, right? And you can in fact write, if you are good in prompting, you say, think like a McKinsey and Accenture supply chain consultant and blah, 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 and adds more segments and make me a great format. It does it for you. So we did this diagnostic, I present the solution. Again, the solution design. At that point, I use my own knowledge. Now you can use all the LLMs to present a very good solution, but make sure you don't bullshit the customer because you want to present a solution where you know you can implement or they can implement. Now, they went quiet and then they realized they still need somebody to implement. And they said, we need your help in managing this project. And I said, okay, I can't do alone because I can't talk to your customers. I cannot talk to your retail people. We need to assemble a team. He said, yeah, we will. There are like 5 very smart folks. And it was a great opportunity for them to develop young leaders. So they find really 5 smart people, 1 in IT, 2 in sales, 1 in product, 1 in whatever. And they put me under my leadership. So we make a project. And I love project because the beauty of project is there's a start, there's a scope, there's a start point, there's a stakeholders, there's an end point. And the outcome is very clear. We talked about outcome, right? Because outcome is written in the project plan. In my case, implement the application into 70% of the distributors. Right?
Yeah.
I was a project manager. So I said,
Project is not a journey. It needs outcomes.
It's an outcome,
clear
right?
Outcomes.
Clear outcome.
Yeah.
I said to them, you got 400 distributors. We do 40 a month if we are lucky, which is like a stretch target. It's going to take 10 months. And they said, I think it's going to take more. Why don't we sign a 12 months contract? So we signed a 12 months contract, retainer, good money, right? And then I was hired to implement it with their team. So first stage, diagnostics, discovery, solution design, second stage. Third stage was implementation, which took 12 months. Great. Good money, good reputation. They love me. I love them. And because of them, I've got more customers going forward because I did a good job with them. So another tip for get your first customer, do a really good job so they can refer you to other people in the same vertical because people talk to people, as we know. Now, the last step, being credible. This is where people think like a manager who doesn't want to train their employee because they will replace the job. What consultants do, they stick to this customer because you're on a retainer and they don't want to let it go because the money for them. What do you do when you implement the 95-80% of your goal or the project scope or a deliverable? You put together a sustain plan, sustain and handover. Okay, I did the job. We're about to finish in 2 months. And this is my plan to hand over to somebody internally responsible. So they can maintain and sustain. And that builds your credibility as a really good, responsible consultant to make sure the customer give you respect. Okay, you are a good guy, hardworking, and then you have your heart is in the right place. Let them out. Honestly, out of the 400 customer, we implement only 280 by the time I left. And I train everybody else. The remaining 120, they did it themselves. They didn't needed me because everybody was trained.
Yeah, I wanted to sum up. So consultant is like a butterfly.
Yeah.
Before becoming a butterfly, you need to become that, how you call that? Caterpillar, which is a salesman. Trying to get your hands on every lead.
Yeah.
Eating as much leads as you can.
Yeah.
Then you acquire your first customer, and then maybe you are a butterfly, a consultant for a few days, weeks, or months, and then you repeat the cycle.
Yes.
Kind of like that, yeah?
So outsource that.
Great episode.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for
I
being
hope
host.
no one gets laid off and will never have to pursue this career of SCM consultant. But if you do, that was a whole lot of advice from Mr. Mudassir here.
Thank you for watching, and thank you for the great questions, and I'll see you in the next episode, mate.
On time with Doctor and Surge. LogTech Podcast.